Pat Caltabiano, Exit Realty Top Properties. And,
Michael DiSchiavi, Exit Realty Top Properties.
and we decided to do a fun Friday because we have so many stories in real estate. On a serious note, we are with Exit Realty Top Properties, and New York Metro is celebrating 21 years of great service. But we also have some great stories. So we would like to share some professional and funny stories. Mike, take it away.
Sure, and I just want to add that if you're watching this and you're a realtor, feel free to comment some of your stories in the comments below, because we love to hear other people's stories as well. So, one of my favorite stories came from a rental lead. What happened was Pat had called me up and she said that she had a client who had a 2-bedroom apartment that she was looking to rent. Lo and behold, I get a phone call from people who sound like they're absolutely perfect for this apartment. And, I told them to come in and get the information and we would see the apartment the same day. Just had a really good feeling about it. So we go, and I was right. I mean, the apartment was perfect for them. They loved it. The landlady loved them. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is going to be done before the hour's up. And so we finished the appointment. And right before we finished, the landlady said, if you don't mind, let's all join hands. I want to say a prayer. And I'm thinking, not quite typical, but I was hoping maybe the serenity prayer, something very simple. So she winds up, we're holding hands, and she winds up going on for about 10 or 15 minutes. Now, listen, everyone has their religious beliefs, and that's perfectly fine. Not quite what I would have done at an appointment. And the tenants and I are looking at each other. And as we leave the house, I know I'm supposed to say something, but I really didn't. I was in such shock. Yeah, I didn't know what to say. So we walked out, and I just looked at them and said, just when you think you've seen everything. Well, needless to say, they had already seen another apartment that they weren't sure about. They ran back to the other apartment. So even though did everything right, I had it right there. But, can we pray was the end.
The moral of the story, prayers don't always help. But, we appreciated it. And you know what? To this day, I still work with the same landlord. And, maybe we take a different tactic. So I'll share a story. It's kind of a inspection story. So as realtors, we represent our client in the most positive way. And we hopefully get an accepted offer. And then we go to an inspection. And, the homeowner usually will prepare the house. And hopefully in a positive light, the inspection goes well. Well, that particular day, the homeowner happened to be not with the living anymore. So a family friend was there, a custodian, if you will. And the inspector and I went in. He was basically naked on the mattress. So I'm just saying that, don't get nervous. He had a little something on. We basically tried to ignore him, and we went along our way and inspected the house. So, it doesn't always go the way it's supposed to go. But you know what? It went fine, and we sold the house. That's my funny story.
And she actually stepped right over him.
So, okay, do you have any more funny stories?
I do. And so, on the topic of naked, I have an open house story. So I had this listing here in Dyker Heights, and normally, like Pat was saying, when there's going to be an inspection or an open house, the owner tries to put their best foot forward, make sure everything is nice. We have the open house, and I get there about 20 minutes early with an associate who's going to help me with the open house. And I walk in, and of course, he starts cleaning litter boxes, and I'm doing dishes, and we're doing all this stuff to get things ready. And then we do a walkthrough of all the rooms to turn the lights on, make sure everything looks nice, make the beds, because no one made the bed. And we go downstairs, because there was a 19-year-old nephew who was living there, and he had his own room in the basement. So we knock on the door, and there's no answer. I open up the door, and the nephew is lying on top of the bed, naked.
Another naked story.
Totally naked. And he has those noise cancellation headphones on, which is why he didn't hear me knock. And he looks up and he jumps and he says, "Oh, I didn't hear you knock. I said, well, I did. Now, mind you, he's still naked as we're having this conversation. And I just say to him very calmly, because, you know, nothing phases us. I said, do you know we have an open house here in about 15 minutes? And he said, yeah, you know, I heard about that. And he looks at me, he says, why, you want me to leave? I said, well, that'd be great. I said, but first I need you to get fully dressed very quickly. I said, then once you are fully dressed, if you could find something to do outside, that'd be even better. So the associate who was with me, so we leave him alone so he can get dressed in private. And the associate who's with me is looking at me. I said, what can I tell you? I said, this is how it is. So I even said to him, I said, you know what, when he gets dressed, I said, if he doesn't have anywhere to go, I'm going to hand him $20 and tell him, go get pizza and chew slowly. But he did leave, and you know what? We sold the house. So
you know, maybe as just a side note, be prepared, and also be prepared for the craziest things to happen, and just keep going, right?
Absolutely. The moral of the story is just keep going.
Okay.